Hey guys, and today Shorty and I are going to do the review, which is between Geelong and GWS at Canberra. Is it Canberra?
Monica?
We'll call it Canberra.
I'm pretty sure it's in Canberra.
Sounds about right. It was the Giants prevailing by 13 points in a bitterly disappointing performance by the Cats. I'm still livid, and it doesn't sound like I am, but I'm trying to keep my cool on camera. So we watched over at the Shields, mates, and what was a pretty devastating performance. With so much promise delivered the week before, beating the Hawks, and the Hawks demoralising the Eagles. It makes the victory last week look so much more amazing than how we performed this week. How did you see it?
Yeah, it was very disappointing, as you say, mate. We thought that by no means did we underestimate what the Giants could do. We certainly touched on that in our tips and in last week's review, but it was just disappointing. We didn't execute how we would have liked, and I guess the unfortunate part was some of the question marks that we had in the past rose again after, last week, like, gee whiz, we may have fixed a few of these things. And again, we let ourselves down, and I talk of the contested ball, the stoppages,
ground ball gets,
all the
clearances.
things that I just talk about all the time.
Same
we lost
things.
The clearances by 13, but again, it's not in the centre, it's around the ground. We lost that by 10. The likes of Shields, Scully, Griffin, Ward all dominated, none more so than Mumford, who just destroyed our ruckman again. Stanley and Smith were just monstered, really.
Yeah, they were.
Mumford had a real presence around the ground, threw his weight around, and look, we just couldn't get going. We were patchy at times. Our good was decent, but then our bad was just as equally poor as you can produce from what we expect, I suppose.
Very true.
I mean, we can probably dwell on sort of the third quarter and patches in the second that were very disappointing. But for me, the most disappointing part was the start of the game when we were on top and dominating, and I think it was 9-7. I think we had 1 goal 3 and 2 out in the full, and we went in, down a quarter time, and we dominated the first quarter. And in modern day footy, momentum will always, if you have two half-decent sides or they're evenly matched, it's always going to swing. You'll have your turn, they'll have theirs. If you can utilise it when you have it, that's just what you got to do.
It's golden.
We didn't do it. We were made to pay. Even late, we seemed to surge back. And to be brutally honest, we should have won. Because
100%.
The Giants, again, were getting a bit tight around the collar as they did last week.
They stopped running.
Yeah, similar scoreline. We got within a goal. And, we just played a poor 5 minutes structurally and skill-wise as well.
Yeah, execution.
Kirsten couldn't convert, nor could Gregson. They're two guys that just don't step up to the plate when they need to.
Yeah.
And look, it was disappointing overall.
Definitely.
They're my main points, I suppose. I mean, it's not the worst performance of all time, as some people sitting on our couch felt. But
every game is. We lose.
But look, I guess patchy is the best way I could describe it, I think. I mean, the best sides, their best is sort of here, their worst is here. But ours is just too all over the shop, too big a difference between our best and worst, and we're inconsistent from game to game, and players are inconsistent between quarter to quarter, and
absolutely,
it results in that sort of performance in comparison to last week.
There you go, mate. You're all over it.
Yeah, I'll try, mate.
You covered that one pretty well.
Thanks, mate. What do you reckon of the game?
Well,
are you cut? You're giggling all over the place, mate.
You mentioned Gregson, mate. They brought just an interesting thing that happened today. How Jeffy Boy could just understand how he could have missed it. The other Jeff says, "How on earth could you miss it?"
I was wondering why you were laughing about.
Yeah, that's why I was having a bit of a giggle. I'm seeing the lighter side of things at the moment, so that's all right.
I can understand.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, you can, just like Jeffy Boy. Anyway, as you said, mate, contested possessions and clearances, minus 22 and minus 13, can't have that. And those stats there were indicative of the free kicks as well. The Giants had 13 more free kicks. Get to the ball first, you get the rub of the green, I guess, and looked upon a bit more fondly because you're there first and making an effort, unlike some of our players.
Yeah.
We didn't, as you said, make an account early on. 1 goal 5 for the quarter, and quite frankly, in the modern day, if you don't take your turn into momentum, it's not looking good for you, basically.
Yeah, you're in some trouble.
Definitely. Contrasted to last week where we had 4 straight against the reigning premiers, 1 goal 3. So it's such a different mindset when you kick straight, and we certainly had our chances. so annoying when we were kicking inside 50, getting, a few targets. And then they were passing 50-50 passes to closer to goal, and we weren't even making the passes correctly. They weren't on. And when players are on, they don't kick it to them. It's like they're so coached, they just don't go with instinct and common sense. I don't really know. It gets frustrating for sure. Slow movement out of the back line at times, and just not running hard enough both ways. I mean, once the Giants got the ball from a turnover, be it in our 50 or their forward line, they made us pay. They ran hard both ways, and they certainly made us look second rate at times where they just got that overlap run, and more often than not, they had their chances. They took marks 45 out. Caniglia, I don't even know how you pronounce it, just went bang. Mummy went bang at half time, just taking their chances when they needed them.
Yeah.
And it was just disappointing when we couldn't make those ones count when we had to. So, not happy, Jan.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else have I got on the sheet here, mate? Yeah, we should have won late, as you said. We were running on top of them. They were absolutely, shitting their dacks. We were all over them. They were 36 up. It was within a goal. Gregson misses, as you said. Kirsten takes a great mark, goes back, just misses when he... Those two players are just C-graders after that. Like, they had to nail those. I mean, you've got to make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Do it there when we need a goal. Kick that. I said that on the couch, if we get in front, I can't see us losing. So momentum and just skill execution can be so crucial in this tight game like that. And the Giants, compose the last few minutes and get the job done. But amazing how free they are when they go up forward, and how congested it is when we go up forward, even if we get on a turnover. Kicked it in twice, and we had two amazing marks from Stanley and Tom Hawkins, where the Giants turned it over, and Hawkins had a 2-on-1. Stanley had a 2-on-1 and took an amazing mark from the side. It's like, where is our loose player? And if the Giants get the turnover there, they still probably get it forward, and you do not see where that free man is. So I don't understand the cohesion sometimes, mate. It's
hard to see on TV too.
Yeah, you just don't know what's going on, who's where. Full credit to the Giants. So ball movement, pressure, and skill execution when it counted was, I guess, very professional, and they deserve the win anyway. Like they outplayed us for most of the game. So disappointing.
And we certainly didn't undersell them last week, that's for sure. We definitely paid them credit. So it may surprise some, but it didn't absolutely surprise us. Disappointed, but nicely summed up there, mate. I will just say another point. I've harped on with the clearances and contested ball, but drive from the back line, you mentioned how slow we were.
It's very stagnant.
Yeah, very much so. The Thurlow injury, that's exactly where it shows up and hurts. And look, we'll compare to, say, the Doggies, who play a great, attractive style of footy, and say the past Geelong Cats, the run we got out of the back line. Look at the Dogs. They got Murphy, Johannesson, Boyd, Biggs, and I think I missed Easton Woods, another one.
Wood.
Look at us, and you look at Mackie, Taylor.
Maybe Guthrie.
If he's there. Enright was good today.
Yeah.
And you're struggling for sort of real class runners, rebounders, are good users.
Yeah. Murphy sets up so much for the Dogs.
Yeah, so just that's another thing that can hurt.
Definitely.
It did today.
That kick out of the back line, mate, huge. We'll go to the votes. That was a long sum up of the game, but had to be said.
I'll shoot through the votes.
It's tough. It's tough to do the votes when you play that badly.
Yeah, it is, but I probably picked out. There's probably only 4 names I really thought about. So I've got 3 of them.
Similar, mate.
3 votes I gave to Corey Enright. He was probably the most composed of the lot.
Yeah, he was very good.
Yeah, provided a bit of run and was impressive. 2 votes to Tommy Hawkins. Had the 10 marks, 4 contested, kicked a few goals as well, and provided a real presence. And he looked good from the first minute or so. He probably could have had a bag of 5 if he maybe went back a couple of times, but he was pretty good, back to some of the footy we expect from him. And Mark Blitzstars, I gave 1 vote to. I think he had 17 touches, 7 tackles, so he's in and under there.
Beautiful.
A few hit-outs as he does, and kicked some crucial goals as well. Nearly had a third if it wasn't for just snicking the post there. But look, even he probably isn't proud of the game he played, really.
Yeah.
Because there were few and far between with our winners on the field there.
Definitely, mate. Nice tips there. I've gone Enright for 3, 24 touches, 3 marks, 4 tackles. Was a general band back and really composed for most of the match. Made really good decisions. And how about that kick, mate, where He was in between like a couple of giants, and he just
Oh,
chucked
yeah.
it on the boot and hit a lace out
Yeah.
15, 20 metres away. So
Vintage.
it was very nice from Boris. Does what he does best there. 2 votes to blitz halves. Got the 17 disposals, 3 marks, 7 tackles, and a couple of nice snags as well when we had to have something on the board. He finally got on there. Just a real gut runner and a great player for us, just an all-rounder, so he did very nicely. 1 vote to your man, Andrew Mackey. You threw his name up. It was either Mackey or Bartel for me, and probably Hawkins would have been sort of there in the mix for those 3. 22 disposals, 9 marks, which is pretty good for him. 2 tackles. Yeah, he's had a couple of nervy moments, but I think his drive from half-back is always pretty promising when he plays accountable footy. Don't say that too often. Don't say that too often in the same sentence, but yeah, I think his output was pretty good, better than normal, and not many other winners on the ground today. So I went with Max.
Very nice, mate. Very nice.
To your favourite segment, your main segment, the chopping block, and I already know, and most people would probably know who you're going to pick.
Yeah, no surprises here. It's Shane.
Bit of deja vu, boys.
Straight on, and I don't have any personal hatred to Shane. He's just not playing good footy. People probably think I hate the bloke, but I wish he could stand up. I wish he could take more marks like he did late, and I wish he could just convert the damn goal.
I know.
I mean,
take that mark.
At the very least, he's had a poor day. The very least he could do was clunk that and go back and kick a crucial goal. He still didn't do that. But look, he only had, 7 touches, 1 tackle. He just doesn't do enough. His energy in the forward line just isn't there. He's not quick. He's not great in the air. And I don't see what he adds.
It's not a great kick either.
I'm just saying what I say every week. And we've got a bloke, I don't know if you've heard of him, Daniel Menzel in the reserves.
Menzel?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have heard of him before, yeah.
He's got a trick bag like no other, a bit like another man, Stevie J, who was on the field. And he's got so many skills and so much upside. And I just think it's worth giving him a go. He kicked 4 last week in the reserves. He kicked 2 again. I mean, he wasn't named in the best or anything, but Kirsten is doing nothing to hold his spot. Don't tell me he's playing a role, because people were talking about, I read an article, Dad mentioned that his role was on Gibson last week, and Dangers was happy with his role. Gibson had 26. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway,
not accountable.
I seriously think Kirsten out, Menzel in is a no-brainer. But we'll wait and see.
Menzel should have been 5 times above him before the Hawthorn came.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous he didn't play last week.
Yeah, and look, from an injury point of view, Duncan got knocked around. They're not exactly sure how bad that is, but it sounded like he should be right. Murdoch got the knock as well, from Mumford as well, I think.
Yeah.
But he came back on. But nonetheless, I think he and Motlop should be seriously looked at. I think one of them will be dropped.
Murdoch and Motlop?
Yeah, I feel one should, and I'm pretty confident they won't drop Motlop. But
yeah, it's annoying because he needs that treatment to, maybe get a bit of a message to him. But because we need speed and we lack that X factor that he has, it just doesn't show it. So they almost keep him in with that hope.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right with the first thing you said there, mate. It's not as though he had a stinker or he was in the bottom 3 players or something like that. I think he had 9 marks, 18 touches. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't average.
No.
But he just needs that kick in the pants, I think, because what he's producing is miles behind what he could. So where I do think Murdoch was probably in our bottom 3 or 4, and on that note should go down. The only problem is, as you say, pace is not what we lack. We got a few pacey players, but the thing is, they're some of the more underperforming players, the ones who have that pace. So I think you got the likes of Hall and Smith, Cowan in the reserves, who have been consistent performers at that level. Obviously, Cowan hasn't been playing, but Hall and Smith beats the door down, but they're a bit slow. Cowan's probably more in your defence as well, but potentially I think they might want to shake it up. I'd drop one of those 2.
Yep.
And
Kirsten goes.
Yeah, I think Cockatoo will come back. So
Cockatoo and who's the other player?
Menzel.
Cow and Menzel.
Yeah.
I'd like to see those 3 in.
Yeah, I think Cockatoo would be the most likely one to come in, and of course we're calling out for Menzel. So there are a few on the
Please, Scotty, please.
Go on, Chris.
What
Spice up that forward line.
What has he done to you? He must I don't know, hypnotise him or something. Who knows? He's not that good.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. But anyway, that's the chopping block for today.
Very nice.
Walk us through next week, mate.
I love your work there, mate. We got the Brisbane Lions at Simmons Stadium, as far as I'm aware. The Sunday game, 4:40, which
Is it 4:40?
apparently.
Okay.
Yeah, do you think it's a bit late or?
No, I thought it was 1:10 game. We don't often have Twilight, but that's cool.
No,
Not
well,
on
there
a
you go.
Sunday.
Yeah, I looked. I went to next week, and Hawthorn and Western Bulldogs at 3:20, and we were after that. So, yeah. Anyway, we got the Lions at Simmons Stadium. They went alright against the Roos. They started off well, and we played very horribly this week. Wouldn't take them lightly. It won't be a walk in the park by any means. I think we'll get the job done by about 6 goals, because they're unfortunately not a great side, but you just can't take anyone lightly. I mean, the competition's so even, and even if you're facing a bottom side, we saw Melbourne and Essendon, even if you're facing a bottom side, if you're a bit off and they play one of the best games of all time, you can lose to anyone on any given day, and we saw that. We've seen it for years and years. So I think we will get the job done. I mean, we thought we'd get the job done against GWS, but had a bit of a thought it would be 50-50 as well, which turned to be the wrong side of the coin for us. Yeah, I can see us winning. Should win at home. Have to win if we want to even make finals.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess, as you say, if sides turn up, as the Essendon team did, and in this pretty even comp we have, anything can happen on any given day. If you give a team a sniff, they can run away with it. So look, we won't be taking them lightly at all.
No.
I think Rockcliffe is almost certainly going to not play, because a calf injury you generally don't just come back up. Rich had hamstring tightness. He's probably likely to play, but even so, they've already got no beams. Okay. We should look. Brisbane aren't a quality outfit. We were confident against the Giants, but Giants have far more quality. Plus, it was at their home ground. We're back at Simmons against probably a bottom 3 or 4 side.
Yeah.
We talk about our slowish backline. Well, against a team like Brisbane, it's a sort of backline that could really be influential, I suppose. We could really dominate the air, I feel, because they don't have as imposing targets there.
Yeah.
I really feel as if that could be beneficial to us this week. And, we often say with Brisbane, their midfield is pretty handy, but at either end, they sort of struggle and lack that quality, or at least not quality, but not in that real prime of their career. So,
no, not yet.
Yeah. Look, mate, we'll win this.
Got a rough margin?
Anywhere from 5 to 8 goals.
Maybe that.
It's a pretty wide range, but
5 to 8 goals, 30 to 48. That's fair enough. I'm sitting around there too. So.
Sounds like a plan, mate.
Good stuff. Well, I'll see you Sunday. Alrighty, that's the review with Shorty and myself on Geelong and the Giants, with the Giants prevailing by 13 points in a very disappointing day for the Cattery. So, hope you've enjoyed it anyway. Feel free to give the video a like, share it around. Darijoe had the highlights up as well. Or the goals anyway, there wasn't many highlights. Except for Tommy Hawkins' goal. Should get goal of the year. I'll be absolutely cut if he doesn't get goal of the year, because that's nearly as good as Eddie Best, if not better, last year. Anyway, that's it for us. Feel free to subscribe as well. Thanks for hanging around, guys. We'll see you all next time.